Hello, fellow TV and film fanatics. I'm Greg, and I make recommendations for TV shows and movies that you can check out from the comfort of your own home. In my last two videos, I talked about some outstanding shows that you can find on Paramount Plus right now, like Dexter and all of its spin-offs. There's Yellow Jackets and even the Twin Peaks franchise. So I figured I'd talk about some of the other binge-worthy shows that are available on Paramount Plus, and I feel like there are some fantastic options to jump into from all different types of genres here. So as always, stop mindlessly scrolling, stop wasting your time. Let's jump in and check them out.
Family man. And if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
First up on our list here today is one of Paramount Plus's newest titles, and it's one of my personal favorites here on the list today, and it is the gritty crime family drama with intense action, and this is Mobland. This series premiered back in March and explores the brutal and high-stakes world of organized crime in London, where two rival families, the Harrigans and the Stevensons, are locked in a deadly battle for control. The series centers on Harry D'Souza, played by Tom Hardy, as the street-smart fixer for the Harrigan family, who must navigate treacherous rivalries while dealing with some dark secrets. And this series overall has a star-studded cast, including Pierce Brosnan as the ruthless patriarch Conrad Harrigan, and then Helen Mirren as his wife, who is this cunning and sometimes sociopathic wife, Maeve. And Mobland is a great mix of explosive confrontations and tons of emotional family drama. And one of the best parts of Mobland is its unflinching portrayal of London's underworld and this complex relationships that all of these characters seem to have with each other. The rivalry not only between these two families is filled with tension, backstabbing, plotting, twists, turns, and all kinds of high stakes, and the internal family drama adds an interesting level of emotional depth to the story itself too. And I said this last time I talked about this, but Tom Hardy is phenomenal in just about anything, and his portrayal of Harry in this one is magnetic. He is this very morally ambiguous character that is torn between loyalty, family, and just keeping himself safe. And he really brings intensity to this role, making him the perfect fit for this resourceful fixer character. And at face value, he can feel like a very emotionless character, but he does a really good job to make you feel what he's feeling with his facial expressions in a very unique Tom Hardy way, and you really start to root for him. I also really enjoyed Guy Ritchie's influence on this show. It is a fast-paced narrative. There's a gritty feel to it and some dark humor, along with the stylish edge that, if you're a fan of his work, you'll really appreciate. And with all 10 episodes of season 1 now available to binge on Paramount Plus, Mobland is a perfect pick for those who enjoy immersive crime sagas.
The CIA sends us out into the world to behave in entirely unhealthy, deviant, dangerous ways.
Next up is another one of the newer options here on Paramount Plus, and this is the character-driven spy thriller series that delves deep into the psychological cost of espionage, and this is The Agency Central Intelligence. This is an adaptation of the critically acclaimed French series Les Bureaux, which is this grounded, realistic portrayal of the life of a CIA operative, and the story itself follows Brandon, played by Michael Fassbender, who is a highly skilled CIA operative who's forced to leave his deep cover and return to London, and once back, he is thrust into this complex world of the CIA while grappling with the professional and personal demons that he carries with him, all while navigating high-stakes international espionage. Now, honestly, if you're looking for a fast-paced, action-packed spy thriller series, The Agency is probably not going to be for you. This series is really a slow burn style series that focuses on the trade craft of espionage and the moral ambiguities faced by these agents on a day-to-day basis. And don't get me wrong, it is still quite intense, but done so with its methodical pacing that builds its tension through these psychological depths and complex plotting going on. And this is another one with a stellar cast that includes Jeffrey Wright, Catherine Waterston, Jodie Turner-Smith, Richard Gere, and of course Michael Fassbender here. And this awesome cast all deliver strong performances that do elevate the slower material that they're going through, and that helps them explore these profound ethical questions and human emotions against the backdrop of international covert operations. So season 2 is already in production for this series, set for an early 2026 release, which speaks to the show's success and ongoing appeal. So if you enjoy espionage narratives that focus on more than the explosions, gunfights, and chase scenes, and more of the psychological and moral dilemmas, then The Agency Central Intelligence should absolutely go on your watch list.
You're on the verge of having a life that most people can't even begin to imagine.
So wait, what the hell are you offering me? You're offering me one pill? So what's it gonna be, Brian?
Next up is one of our older options on our list here today, but if you're looking for something that's a captivating binge watch, Limitless from 2015 is a fantastic choice. And to me, this is a bit of an underrated gem that is a fun, engaging ride with a very unique twist in it. And it's based on the 2011 film Limitless, which in turn is based on the novel The Dark Fields by Alan Glenn. And this one here follows Brian Finch, who is this struggling man who is introduced to NZT. It's a mysterious drug that allows him to unlock his brain's full potential. And as Brian's newfound abilities make him a genius, he is actually forced to work with the FBI to solve complex cases. And he's doing this all while grappling with these side effects and moral dilemmas that comes with his enhanced intelligence. And with a solid blend of sci-fi, crime, and comedy in this one, Limitless does keep things light and entertaining while also diving into some awesome adventures. And I really like Jake Dorman's take on this character here. He is eccentric, he's charming, and he's also really funny as Brian. And his dynamic with Jennifer Carpenter in this one is one of the best parts of the show by far. She plays FBI agent Rebecca Harris, who only really makes his performance stronger, and it just offers us this incredible buddy cop partnership throughout the series. And the visual style also stands out in this one. You'll see that as you go into it. They use creative effects to represent Brian's cognitive processing, adding some dynamic and engaging visuals that elevate and also help you understand the storyline as it flashes different things on screen. And while the series follows a case of the week format, there is a compelling overarching mystery surrounding the origins of NZT and its potential dangers in this one, along with the mysterious agenda of Senator Edward Mora, who's actually played by Bradley Cooper. And honestly, I really love this because it does a good job tying everything together and of course further linking it to the movie itself. And despite its cancellation after just one awesome season, Limitless has a clever premise, fast-paced plot, and some cool witty writing in it. So if you're someone who enjoys lighthearted crime solving with this sci-fi twist, this one is an easy and enjoyable binge, even if that comes with a few loose ends.
You're different now.
Will girls ever like us?
You're so easy to talk to. You're just like my sister.
My next pick on our list here today is certainly our oldest title today, and this might be one of my favorite coming-of-age comedy series ever, and this is Freaks and Geeks. And to many, this is an iconic teen comedy that originally aired back in 1999 and has since earned a dedicated cult following for its unflinching, realistic portrayal of high school life at this time. And the series focuses on two groups of teenagers navigating the ups and downs of adolescence during the 1980s, and despite its short runtime, this is an absolutely incredible option to check out. And some of the other titles on our list have quality casts. I have mentioned that already, and I'll mention it a few more times on here, but Freaks and Geeks is one of the most star-studded casts by far, and it was before they were even stars. It includes a now household names list like James Franco, Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, Martin Starr, Linda Cardellini, and many others. And watching this series is like witnessing a who's who of Hollywood comedy and drama before they even made it big. And the chemistry between the characters that they portray is undeniable and really brings both the comedy and the heart to the screen. It makes their awkward moments and heartfelt relationships deeply relatable, and whether it's the dry humor or the more serious inner conflicts, the show brilliantly captures the emotional complexity of adolescence, and most times that's in the most hilarious and heartwarming ways possible. It's definitely one of those shows that you will catch yourself smiling and laughing constantly, and you're not even 100% sure why sometimes. So if you're a fan of character-driven comedies with a touch of nostalgia, Freaks and Geeks is such a cool option that doesn't shy away from the messy and imperfect parts of life. And even though this is another that got canceled way too soon after just 18 episodes, it's 100% worth checking out for yourself.
Let's go! Why, out of all the jobs in the world, you pick this one?
Let's move back to something a bit more modern with our next pick here, and this is another top-tier spy thriller series to binge on Paramount Plus, and this is Lioness. This series here is created by the mind behind Yellowstone, 1923, 1883, and some others actually on our list here today. And this is an action-packed series that follows Joe, played by Zoe Saldana, who is a hard-edged CIA officer leading the Lioness program, which recruits female agents for dangerous undercover missions. And this includes missions to infiltrate terrorist cells in the Middle East, going undercover with the Mexican drug cartels. And the show itself is an intense mix of this espionage, high-stakes action, and personal drama as Joe struggles to balance her demanding CIA job with her family life, raising the stakes even higher season to season. And unlike the agency we talked about above, this series is full of high quality action with intense gunfights, explosion, military operations, and they combine this perfectly with the covert operations and heart-stopping suspense that comes with it. But honestly, really what set this one apart for me is not just those thrilling moments, but the human drama that they explore, like loyalty, sacrifice, and the personal cost of living this double life. This is another one here on our list where it would almost be hard to talk about it without at least mentioning its star-studded cast. The series has a lot of familiar faces throughout, but does boast some big names like Nicole Kidman, Morgan Freeman, and of course Zoe Saldana. And with 2 seasons already available, Lioness is a perfect option to jump into. So whether you're a fan of Taylor Sheridan's universe or you just love high-intensity spy thrillers, this one offers a blend of gritty realism, emotional depth, and non-stop action that will get you hooked.
My doc was pretty worried about my blood pressure. Luckily, didn't turn out to be a problem.
Oh, what happened?
There's an we've been through this.
If all that seems a little bit too serious for you, then let's take a look at a feel-good, heartwarming, and consistently funny series, Ghosts. This is a sitcom based on the British series of the same name, and it follows Sam and her husband Jay as they inherit the Woodstone Manor, which is a beautiful but haunted country estate. And after a near-death experience, Sam gains the ability to see and interact with the diverse group of ghosts who inhabit her manor. And this group includes a wide array of characters, which are probably the best part of this show, but you have a Viking explorer, a 1700s Continental Army officer, and a 1990s party boy stockbroker. And each ghost has their own eccentric personalities and tragic backstory, which leads to endless comedic situations and some surprisingly heartfelt moments throughout. And like I said, the group of characters in this show really make it worth watching. They do a good job exploring each character and where they are now, of course, but how they got there, which makes you really end up caring about each one of them. But this does also allow the show to go in so many different directions, from different storylines to different backstories, random things that pop up. It's really, really funny. And their chemistry combined with Sam and Jay's relatable struggles of managing a business and just family life in general creates a dynamic that's both funny and touching. And I definitely want to shout out Utkarsh Ambudkar. I think he is hilarious, probably the funniest character in this show because he cannot actually interact with these ghosts directly, so he just says some of the funniest stuff in the most awkward moments. It lends to a ton of laughs in this show, but the show does a really good job blending witty humor, physical comedy, and of course the supernatural chaos, which makes it a perfect pick for those who are in the mood for a lighthearted entertainment. So if you're looking for an easy binge that is funny, it's warm and unique, the 4 seasons of Ghost is a perfect show to pick up for yourself.
Welcome to the Split River High Afterlife Support Group. Would you like to tell us a little about yourself?
How'd you die?
Let's move forward and talk about another ghost-filled option here on our list today, but this one's mixed with a little bit of teen drama, and this is School Spirits. This series here follows Maddie, played by Peyton List, who is a teenage girl who wakes up in the afterlife at her high school with no memory of how she died or went missing. And in this series, she's trapped in a purgatory-like existence, but teams up with a group of ghosts from various eras of the past, and actually her best friend Simon, who is the only living person able to communicate with her. And as she embarks on this mission to solve her own mysterious disappearance, the show masterfully combines a compelling whodunit mystery with supernatural elements, creating a gripping and emotional narrative that keeps you locked in. Right from the get-go, the series actually hooks you in quite well with the mystery surrounding Maddie as she struggles to uncover the truth behind her death. And much like Ghosts, you are slowly introduced to a quirky and diverse group of ghosts who each bring their own personality and backstory to the mix. And this dynamic among the ghosts, along with Peyton List's strong lead performance, adds a layer of depth to the story, making it both intriguing, it has its funny moments, and heartfelt at times. But for me, I've really loved watching Maddie's investigation unfold. You do get some really cool twists and unexpected revelations throughout, which leaves you eager for more. And season 2 does continue the suspense and expand the lore of this world, diving deeper into the rules of the afterlife and exploring new character dynamics. So if you're looking for an engaging plot, strong performances, and supernatural twists, School Spirits has an evolving mystery, quality characters, and growing stakes that makes it a solid option to check out.
Is that a unicycle?
Yeah.
Yours?
Yeah.
How long have you been single?
A while.
Another comedic option on our list here today is the fresh, smart, and generally funny romantic comedy here, and this is Colin from Accounts. This show follows Ashley and Gordon, who are brought together by a mishap involving a dog. These two are forced to share responsibility for the dog that they injured, and this pup ends up needing wheels for his back legs, and what this ends up starting is this awkward and unconventional meeting that quickly leads to a unique and messy romance, blending comedy with real-life relationship challenges. The way that they portray modern dating and relationships in this one is consistently funny. It's got a ton of sharp, often dry, and sometimes really cringe-worthy Australian wit in it, and the humor comes from incredibly real, awkward, and also relatable situations that do always feel earned. They're not forced, and rather than relying on typical rom-com tropes, the series dives into the complexities of long-term commitment, exploring themes of vulnerability, family dynamics, and just personal flaws that make dating extremely difficult. And the chemistry between the two lead characters in this one is incredible. We have Ashley and Gordon, who have this amazing banter. They have a genuine affection for each other, and it makes this relationship feel incredibly authentic and compelling. And it's even more amplified when you know that Patrick Bramall and Harriet Dyer are actually married in real life, so this connection is more than just an act. And with 2 seasons already available with this one and a 3rd already confirmed for 2026, Colin from Accounts is a perfect option for a casual watch if you just want something funny, heartfelt, with a unique twist.
Walk away.
I should. But then again, what's the point of having fuck you money if you never say fuck you?
My next pick on our list here today is the captivating and high-stakes drama series Billions. And this show here takes you deep into the cutthroat worlds of finance and law, where 2 brilliant but ruthless characters, Bobby Axelrod and Chuck Rhodes, engage in constant battles of will. And the character Axelrod is a self-made billionaire hedge fund king, and then Chuck is an ambitious US attorney engaged in this thrilling game of strategy and power, trying to outmaneuver each other while navigating personal and professional conflicts. Now, Billions is certainly not a fast-paced, action-packed narrative, but as far as dramas go, it is really intense. It is smartly written, has some incredibly fast-paced dialogue throughout it, and looks into the morally gray world of ultra-wealthy power players that builds suspense and intrigue at almost every turn. And yes, like many of the others, at the heart of this show are some exceptional performances, especially from the leads Damian Lewis and Paul Giamatti, which Lewis plays Axe, who has this magnetic, unpredictable energy about him, embodying this just raw power and wealth that drives his character. And then Giamatti plays Chuck, who is filled with righteous ambition and deep personal flaws, and both are nothing short of brilliant, and their scenes together are filled with tension and this awesome dialogue and banter between the two of them. Then beyond the 2 leads, the supporting cast includes a load of quality cast members. You've got Megan Siff, Corey Stoll, David Constable, and plenty of others that add layers upon layers to the show's explorations of power, loyalty, and the consequences of ambitions. So if you love intelligent thrillers, character-driven narratives, and a peek into the lives of these super rich, Billions is a phenomenal option to check out for yourself. The next series here on our list today is Killing Eve, which is a thrilling spy drama with a twist. And this series here revolves around Eve, played by Sandra Oh, who is this British intelligence officer, and then Villanelle, played by Jodie Comer, who is a skilled and stylish assassin. And this series here definitely fits into the spy thriller genre with twists and turns, morally ambiguous characters, high-stakes situations, but is also filled with dark comedy, psychological drama, and themes of things like obsession, identity, and this weird, awkward relationship between our 2 lead characters. And at the heart of the series is the intriguing cat and mouse chase that evolves into this dangerously captivating relationship that we find these 2 characters in. And it's filled with mutual admiration, rivalry, and just this weird connection that I'm having a hard time finding the words for. But the chemistry between Eve and Villanelle is electric, and both of these actresses deliver unforgettable performances that did earn both of them major awards for this series. And this is another one on our list here today with sharp, witty dialogue and this clever banter between the 2 that provide both dark humor, genuine tension between them, keeping you invested in the characters and not just the twists and turns of the narrative itself. And I really feel like the production team of this one here deserves some love, as this is a visually stunning series. Killing Eve definitely stands out when you see it. It has some very stylish aesthetics, stunning international locations that they travel to, and bold, eye-catching costumes, especially Villanelle's iconic outfits throughout the series. And this one boasts excellent direction, sound design, making each episode a very immersive experience. And while the show has had some different showrunners in each season, the storytelling does remain fresh and does feel consistent with some uneven pacing in some of the later seasons, but despite that, Killing Eve offers an unforgettable ride, blending thrilling espionage, complex characters, making it a perfect binge watch on Paramount Plus.
A half-world between what we know and what we fear. A place in the shadows, rarely seen but deeply felt.
Let's transition to something a bit different here on our list today, and this is the dark supernatural horror series Penny Dreadful. And this series here is set in Victorian London and follows our leads, the psychic Vanessa Ives and the gunslinger Ethan Chandler. And they end up bringing together a whole host of iconic characters from classic horror literature into a story that blends together the supernatural elements, psychological drama, and as they band together, they end up battling the hidden underworld of London with classic horror characters, weaving all this together into this incredible overarching narrative. The first thing that I want to say about this one is that I love the world building in this series. I think it is top notch. And since this is a Showtime original, it did benefit from a significant budget, which is evident in its elaborate period detail, creature designs, and cinematic quality of each episode. And they do use this perfectly to capture the dark, sensual, and eerie ambiance of Victorian London, from the detailed sets and costumes to the lighting and even the special effects, where every frame feels very meticulously crafted to immerse you in a world of shadows, secrets, and just the supernatural dread. And one of the other things that I really loved about this series is its unique takes on these iconic characters and stories. They actually cleverly weave together Dr. Frankenstein, his creature, Dorian Gray, figures from the world of Dracula, and tons of others, to be honest, but it never feels forced or like a crossover or anything like that. It feels like it's a cohesive world with a very fresh, original story to tell. And what do you know, this is another one with an exceptional cast here, with Eva Green, Timothy Dalton, Josh Hartnett, Reeve Carney, Harry Treadaway, and a long list of others throughout the seasons here. But with this series already at its natural conclusion after 3 seasons, just know it does tell a complete story, which allows you to jump right into its rich, dark world without wondering if there's a chance of cancellation. So I definitely recommend you checking out Penny Dreadful on Paramount Plus.
Maybe what's wrong?
This is what? A haunting?
Well, another one of the scarier options on our list here today is the standout supernatural thriller series here, Evil. And this show here blends together intelligent psychological horror with an investigative crime-solving series, which is pretty unique and fun in my eyes. And in this one, we do follow Dr. Kirsten Bouchard, who is a forensic psychologist hired by the Catholic Church to investigate paranormal cases alongside David Acosta, a seminary-turned-priest, and then Ben Shakir, who is this rational tech contractor that works with them. And this trio delves into some disturbing cases of demonic possession, miracles, hauntings, constantly challenging the lines between science and the supernatural. And the show itself does have a very interesting premise, like I said, that keeps you on edge, exploring dark themes of faith, psychology, and the nature of evil. And frankly, it gets a bit gray at times here throughout the series, and that leads to some generally unsettling moments throughout. The series itself is not reliant on cheap jump scares that often, though it does have some effective ones, but instead, Evil creates a haunting atmosphere filled with dread, with its disturbing imagery, unsettling concepts, and the creepy question that is actually evil real? And are these tangible forces impacting the world and its characters? And it definitely at times can get under your skin. And I did feel like the series itself excelled with its character development. I thought particularly with this core trio, we have Kristen's emotional struggles, David's spiritual journey, and then Ben's skepticism, which creates a really weird but cool dynamic that fuels the show's narrative, and it evolves as the series goes on. And however, the most chilling part of Evil is Michael Emerson, and if you watch the channel, you know that I'm a big fan of his. He is again playing this odd yet deeply sinister character in this one here, who seems to manipulate everyone around him, adding this layer of tension and makes the stakes even higher throughout. And again, this is another series on the list that is case by case, episode to episode, where they're investigating these supernatural elements, but it does have this awesome overarching mystery that carries throughout its 4 seasons, building suspense, giving you more and more detail with each season and each episode. So if you like horror, psychological drama, and even the crime procedural elements, this is a binge-worthy experience packed with chilling mystery and, like I said, a few jump scares in there.
Your couriers fix-it men, part-time gangsters.
Let's head back to another title on our list here from the mind of Taylor Sheridan here, and this is the gripping and intense crime drama series Mayor of Kingstown. This is obviously set in the fictional town of Kingstown in Michigan, and this series here explores the dark and corrupt world of the prison industrial complex, where the McGlusky family, led by Mike McGlusky, played by Jeremy Renner, serves as the unofficial power brokers who maintain a fragile peace between the various factions. We've got inmates, street gangs, corrupt police, politicians, and after a tragic event in the first episode, we see Mike thrust into the role of mayor, which I'm air quoting and you guys can't see, but he's trying to keep the peace in a town ravaged by violence, corruption, and desperation. And if you're looking for something with a bit more action, the show is pretty packed with action. It has confrontations and sudden bursts of violence all the time. And the stakes in this one feel consistently high as Mike constantly faces threats from all sides. And you really never know when things are just gonna pop off, and sometimes the worst ways. And I always love when big movie stars jump into shows like these, because someone like Jeremy Renner can pretty much afford to turn down pretty much whatever he doesn't believe in, but it does always give me some faith in the script and the production values that'll be attached to this show here. But we do see Jeremy Renner in this one deliver a powerhouse performance as Mike McGlusky. He's navigating this broken system while carrying this immense weight of the town's problems on his shoulders, and he's supported by a host of quality actors. You've got Hugh Dillon, Hamish Allen Headley, Michael Beach, Aidan Gillen, Diane West, and everything that I read about this series talks about its unflinching realism, tackling some really tough themes like systemic racism, inequality, and just the human cost of incarceration in general. And the high stakes in this series, combined with its exploration of power dynamics, is super intriguing, and that does get you hooked right at the beginning. But honestly, what keeps you coming back is these character-driven stories as you follow Mike and the other characters on their journey in this corrupt town. So with 3 seasons available now and a 4th already confirmed, Mayor of Kingstown is a gritty drama with sharp writing and complex characters that's absolutely worth giving a shot for yourself.
Look, we want to make a movie.
This could become a cultural phenomenon, the likes we've never seen before.
Well, then we better get started.
Next up on our list here today is the perfect pick for anyone who is fascinated with the art of filmmaking, and this is the limited series here, The Offer. This series here offers a behind-the-scenes look at the making of one of the greatest films in cinematic history, The Godfather, and this is based on the real-life experiences of the producer Albert Ruddy, and this series takes us through the tumultuous production of the film, showcasing the drama, challenges, and egos involved in bringing this to the big screen, from studio interference to casting battles to the real-life threats posed by the mafia. The Offer gives us a compelling glimpse into the chaos and perseverance required to create a masterpiece. And I think I said this last time, but I'm definitely going to say it here again. I am sure that some of this was spruced up by Hollywood to make it more intriguing or suspenseful or just flow together better, but if even half of what you see is true, this story is wild. It's an incredibly chaotic, challenging, and often absurd story that blends together all this with drama, humor, suspense, constantly keeping you locked in as the production of this movie faces seemingly insurmountable odds. And this is another one on our list where I really enjoyed the world building itself. They do use the unique style, energy, and Wild West mentality of filmmaking in the 1970s, but they also bring along with that the fashion, the sets, the prevailing attitudes, and even stereotypical archetypes of individuals of this time period. And it definitely is an interesting and nostalgic trip for anyone who loves this era of cinema. And again, can't not mention the cast here. You've got Miles Teller as Al Ruddy, Matthew Good as Robert Evers, who are both great, but you also have a ton of other names here. Dan Fogler, Bern Gorman, Colin Hanks, Giovanni Ribisi, Juno Tempo, Lou Ferrigno, and a slew of others. So if you love Hollywood history and gripping drama, The Offer is a perfect series to jump into with a 10-episode arc that gives you a complete and satisfying story.
First comes the dreamers, then the bankers, and then the desperate.
Then last but not least on our list here today is the series Landman. And this one is a gritty and intense drama that delves into the high stakes world of the West Texas oil fields and offers us an authentic and unflinching look at the oil industry's brutal realities, from just the physically demanding labor of the rigs themselves to the high level corporate deals and complex negotiations that drive the economy. And the series follows Tommy Norris, played by Billy Bob Thornton, who is a seasoned landman who navigates the cutthroat cutthroat world of oil leases and crisis management as he balances greed, ambition, and family legacy. With Billy Bob Thornton at the helm of this one here, this Landman does deliver a powerhouse performance that captures the weariness and resilience of a man deeply entrenched in a volatile industry. And his portrayal of Tommy Norris is both compelling and nuanced, which is another character on our list today that is deeply flawed, but you definitely find yourself relating to and rooting for. And what do you know, this is another one from the Taylor Sheridan universe, and if you're a fan of his other titles, like I said, Yellowstone, or the others on this list like Lioness or Mayor of Kingston, you will immediately recognize his signature style all over this and probably feel right at home with this series. It has the same sharp dialogue, morally ambiguous characters, and high-stakes character-driven stories that is both thrilling and thought-provoking all at the same time. The show does offer you plenty of drama and tension. It's fueled by conflicts with the cartel, rival companies, and internal family struggles that really never leaves for a dull moment in this one. In addition to Thornton's performance, Landman also has Ali Larder, Jacob Laughlin, and John Hamm in this one, and we actually get Sam Elliott, who will be joining this one in season 2. That was greenlit almost immediately after breaking viewership records for a new series on Paramount Plus. So if you like gritty drama, complex family dynamics, and some cool storytelling that's in the Sheridan universe, this is another option on Paramount Plus you should check out for yourself. And that's going to do it for our list today, everybody. If you don't mind, take a second to do all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, share it out. It really helps us get our recommendations out to others looking for their next binge-worthy option. But thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.